The tensions over abortion access could flare between states after the Supreme Court ruled to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Washington Post's Jacob Bogage detailed what may be ahead in a new piece he just wrote. Jacob, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you wrote that the ruling could trigger new battles between states. Are we already seeing any of these battles taking place? And if so, what are we seeing?
Yeah, we certainly are seeing those battles already. A number of states have already banned abortion since this ruling took effect, through trigger bans, through laws that were already on the books, through existing restrictions. And then you have other states in pro-abortion rights states that are trying to make access easier in their jurisdictions. So states like California and Connecticut enacting legislation that would protect patients who travel to those states for abortion services, also protect medical practitioners in those states from civil and criminal liability in places like Texas or Mississippi or Louisiana or Missouri. So you have this weird situation where states are almost trying to actively undermine one another to either take away abortion rights or ensure that women who want to terminate pregnancies have the right to do that, have those protections.
Yeah, and kind of expanding on that, you also cited that experts said that there would be tensions between states. It could grow in ways not seen since slavery. Can you explain that?
Yeah, first, I want to make very clear that American slavery is a uniquely hideous institution. It continues to be a stain on our country. But when we talk about the legal framework around abortion and slavery, they are a little bit similar here. I mean, the Fugitive Slave Act of the 19th century had southern states trying to compel free states, northern states, to return escaped enslaved people, literally trying to exert jurisdiction extraterritorially in other places. The same thing is happening here. A state like Missouri is trying to criminalize abortion that occurs outside Missouri for a Missouri resident. They travel into Illinois, they travel to California, they travel to New York, etc. And you have states like Texas saying that abortion providers from other states that offer telemedicine, telehealth care, or mail or ship abortion pills into their state would be criminals in the eyes of the state of Texas, even though it's legal potentially where they currently are doing it. So you have that competing, those competing laws and that conflict shaping up that we really haven't seen since the era of slavery.
Now, do you think that this new ruling and the trigger bans, and now it's illegal in some states all of a sudden to have an abortion, do you think that's enough for people to actually move out of those states into a state that allows it?
I think we're going to start seeing that. I mean, look, that's something we've already started to see a little bit. They're called blue dots. So Nashville would be one, Louisville would be one, places in the South of urban or in the Midwest of urban centers that might be a little bit more liberal than the rest of the surrounding community, and folks leaving those states. The mayor of Kansas City already tweeted that there was a company that wanted to locate in Kansas City. Then once Missouri's trigger ban took effect, they said, we can't justify that. We can't do that anymore. I think there is a potential for that to happen, driven not just by folks' personal political beliefs, but also the businesses that have to set up shop in these places.
Very interesting. All right, the Washington Post, Jacob Bogage, thank you so much for joining us this morning and expanding on this topic and more on what you wrote. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.